Going live, very live. I like being live. God, I sound like a DJ. But anyway, welcome. I'm Brian. And that stream is going to be a kind of a continuation from another video that I did earlier. It's called Your Spiritual and Mental Health. Well, this is kind of a branch off of that. And I actually did a video on this years ago. I think it was called The 5 Stages of Demon Possession, but it's been so long that I've had to re-research a lot of it. And I thought, well, just add a little more to it, because especially going through these really dark times and that, there's a lot of mental distress, a lot of mental issues, a lot of negativity going on around, especially with this pandemic going on, and that it's really, really been hard on different people, especially emotionally and mentally, and unfortunately, these dark energies love anything negative. To them, that's a sweet shop, so. Today I thought I'd do was know what is demon possession. Well, something like that. Actually, it comes in stages, but it starts off with, well, it can vary. Like you could have ancestors that were into the dark arts, and then the negative energy, if you want to call it that, is passed on from generation to generation. I've heard of that. And also, people have been performing unsafe seances. Like people that have held seances with no protection, no guidance. Okay, that to me is a recipe for disaster. Okay, and another way this stuff this a demon can always be invited, put it that way, and that is now you've heard of you've heard of these items that people brought home. They think it's a wine cooler or whatever you want to call it, and that it's known as a divot box. Okay, even though a lot of people don't believe in that, there's been many cases in which a divot box or something similar to that, and that have been taken home, and whether they were given warnings or not, I don't know, but they go, oh, that's a cute looking cabinet. Let's open up the doors. Well, there's been a few cases where they've opened up the doors, releasing some kind of a demon. And I think the name Divot, the name Divot is actually the name of a demon, allegedly. I'm not really sure about that, but that's what they call it. And these demons have certain targets. Okay. No, what targets are, I don't know. If my guide hasn't told me, and that I hope I never find out. And that so basically, they're a generational thing. People that might get on with seances and didn't know what they're doing, or they brought home something that had not so much a spirit attached, but a demon attached, and not even know it. Like to me, that's just not people that go through these kind of circumstances will definitely not have a good day. And there's been some cases where stuff like this has taken place at home, whether it's seance of divot box, whatever, and that the people that started it, they're not necessarily the ones that the demons will attach to. Okay, if you have a loved one in the house, or if you have a friend in the house that's struggling with mental issues, like suffering from anxiety, depression, and that, anything like that, that's a perfect target, for these demons and that. And usually, there's been some cases where, the typical box or the seance or whatever takes place one day, and maybe a very, very, very long time before anything actually happens. I've heard in some cases that as much as 10 to 20 years have gone by and nothing's happened, then all of a sudden, you know, activity starts and that. So they see. I think they do that for a reason. They actually do that to get you off guard. Okay, so that's basically what they want to do. Is they want to get you off guard and that. And this is where the different stages come in. Now, I might be wrong in the wording and terminology. I'm just going by my own research, and that. And that is, first of all, I call it the manifestation, and that was the introductory to the whole thing, and that. And usually, that's just when the demon kind of introduces itself by triggering your curiosity. So that's when they start making little tiny noises or little tiny events in the home, either by sounds like footsteps, doors opening, closing, just mild stuff. See, the reason why they're doing that is just to get your attention. And this can go on for a while. And then once they have your attention, okay, that's when they really go to town. Okay, see, the first is to let the people know, hey, we're here, and we don't want you to forget about it. So little noises here and there, footsteps, just little things, and that. And you see, this is where a lot of people get confused in that. You see, when people, when they start experiencing these little, noises, what have you, in the house, they may think that it could be a loved one trying to get their attention. You see, this is where people become so vulnerable, is they don't know whether it's a loved one, it's a friend, or if it could be a dark energy. They don't know. All they know is there's something in the house making noises, basically, or clicking lights on and off, just little things. And but once they get your attention, or even better, more people's attention, and that's when things start to escalate. Okay, now they got your attention. Now, what they want to do is they want to try to intimidate you or frighten you, and basically, when it comes to these kind of things, and they this is where you can usually tell, and especially if you're an experienced paranormal researcher or medium, what have you, and this is where someone that knows all the signs, all the, all the tricks, so to speak, and because we know that a spirit person cannot throw or levitate something heavy. Okay, that would take a huge amount of energy. Okay, well, a demon, on the other hand, don't forget that demons were never human; they were never on the earth plane. Okay, so they've got a huge amount of energy themselves, and they're constantly getting fed and fed and fed off of your fear. Okay, and the more the victim is afraid, or more than one people are afraid, okay, that's more and more fear, more terror that the person's letting out. The demon loves that because they're feeding off of that, and the more they feed, the stronger they get. Okay, so basically, when things are thrown around, like I'm talking, not just little things like cutlery, I'm talking small furniture, like kettles, a stack of plates, or chairs, tables, or if the demon's strong enough, they even push a couch. And because if they're strong enough, they can do that. Sure, it takes a lot of energy, but you see, the reason why that they're moving the big things is to scare you even more. See, their goal is to break you down, both spiritually and mentally. and the more you are scared, the more you're terrified, the more you're broken down. That's their goal. Okay, so then when they start pushing stuff around, throwing things around, and that, and and it's not just during the day or in the evenings that they do this. See, they have no time schedule, you know. Well, at least according to the Earth's time. Okay, they have their own schedule, and if they have to cause poltergeist activity around the clock, they will. And that, and especially at nighttime, when you're trying to sleep, that's when they really go to town. Okay, they don't want you to sleep. They don't want you to rest. And that, and that, and there's, and the more terrified you are, the less sleep you get, the more vulnerable you are. And that, and with that said, and that there's even been a lot of cases in which, see, when you're asleep, okay, your subconscious, okay, is wide open, okay, and the demon knows that, and that. So basically, when you're asleep, hopefully your body and mind are resting. In this case, that's not happening. Okay, you're unconscious, and that, but your subconscious mind is wide open, and the demon's using that. And usually, what they'll do is they'll get the person to sleepwalk. At least that's one of the tools that they use, and that. So you go to bed, go to bed normal time. You wake up in the middle of the night, and you're not even in the bedroom. You might be in a different part of the house. You might not even be in the house. You might be outside, and that. And with that, you wake up. You're standing up. You might be holding something, and you have no idea what's going on. You have no idea how you got outside or got out of bed. Okay? You haven't got a clue. And that can be terrifying, especially if you're carrying a weapon or carrying something that you normally would never do. And that's when the fear factor really kicks in. Okay? And then when people said, why were you walking around in the middle of the night? Why were you doing this? Why were you doing that? You have no memory of that. Okay? That can be terrifying. And that, you see, all the stuff I'm telling you is basically the stuff that I've learned over the years, and because I've actually been to a couple of investigations in which there was a demon possession, and that the person that was affected, their whole life was turned around. They had to strongly go to their faith in order to get help and to get reconciliation, not reconciliation, but to get treatment, and that. And it's a lifelong commitment, especially when you got a demon that was torturing you, and that you have to involve the church, you have to involve so many people to help you. Sure, you can get rid of the demon, but that's never 100% guarantee. Okay, you can keep yourself protected with your religion and stuff like that, but it's a lifelong spiritual battle. Okay, so basically, like I said, when you're asleep, walking around, see, that's the demon controlling your subconscious, and see, that's part of what I call the infestation, or not the infestation. That's the kind of going from the second to the third, from the infestation to the oppression. See, it's the oppression when they start manipulating your thoughts, breaking you down, and you start doing, like, you're not aware of it. You start doing stuff that you normally would never do, and see, that's the demon doing a lot of influencing, and when you wake up, you are absolutely knackered. Like you feel like you haven't slept in a week. You can't even think straight. Okay, and eventually over time, now someone told me that it's not full body possession that the demon does to you, and I kind of agree. I kind of agree with that, and that see basically it's not a full possession of the body. Okay, it's breaking down of the person's will and spirit, and it's kind of like the demon is the puppet master, and you're the puppet. Okay, it's controlling your emotions. It's controlling your intentions. Basically, all the characteristics that make you, the person you are. Okay, that's the stuff that's breaking down, and and before you know it, and that your conscious mind, and that is manipulated as well. So basically, your thoughts are no longer your own. Your thoughts are the demon's thoughts. So basically, mentally, and that you're getting broken down, and I know it's pretty scary to think you know about that, but a demon can do that, and that. But the one thing I would strongly recommend is when you find stuff that's really being thrown around in the house and you're really just exhausted, and you want the whole thing just to stop, okay, it's at that point that you need to seek professional help. Okay, a paranormal investigation team, um, if you could find one, a parapsychologist, a psychic medium, to find out the nature of this entity, and just start from there, because you need to find out, not only get help on the spiritual part but also on the mental part. Okay, because this could be a multi-stage thing that they're going to have to work on, and but it's not until the end, once the church gets all the information, all the facts that they need, that's when they can bring in a priest to perform usually an exorcism and or a spirit detachment, and like I said, I might be way off, but this is what I've experienced, and but like I said, it starts off with, like, don't worry, for those who are listening to this right now, that you're actually experiencing this, and that don't worry, you're not nuts, okay? But you need to go to the proper channels in order to get proper help, okay? Whether it's through a psychic medium, through a paranormal investigation team, through a parapsychologist. Now, the parapsychologist, okay, they'll look at the mental and the spiritual part of what you're experiencing. Then they refer you to all these others. Okay, they have to go through a checklist to make sure that what you're experiencing is 100% legit, that it is in fact a demonic entity doing the tormenting. Okay, that's that's something you need to get verified, and that. But if you can get all these stages, all these things verified, that it's not mental illness, that it is in fact a demon, you got all the evidence that you're experiencing on video, whatever, and that's when you can finally say, okay, I've had enough, and that it's time to take action and stop this. Because at the end, if you don't, at the very end, not only will you start doing what the demon wants you to do, but you might end up taking someone else's life. You might take your own life, or you might wait to pass on, your affliction to someone else, because I've seen that happen so many times, to where you don't do all the killings and stuff. You pass that on to someone else that is weaker mentally or whatever, and that way, that way you're still being used by the demon, even though someone else is doing dirty work now. Demons, they'll never give up, tormenting lives and destroying lives. But I'm hoping of what you've learned in this video, and that I'm really hoping that you can take action before the really bad stuff starts to happen. Okay. Now, I'm not a demonologist, by any means. And that I'm just an empath medium, and that I've seen things. Like I personally seen things. I've even seen demons, and I can vouch for anybody that says it's just a black mass. It's not in the human shape. You're dead on, because it's not a human, and that. But there has been cases where a very bad person, very bad male or female energy, and that did bad things both here on the earth plane, and now they're being, I don't use the word manipulated, or being influenced by a dark energy to do bad stuff. Okay, so basically, it can either be a really bad spirit person that's being manipulated by a dark energy, or it could be a dark energy itself. And sometimes it's hard to tell which it is, and that, because if you see a spirit person that was really bad, and is being influenced, okay, that will be in a more of a human shape, okay, because it was once a human. Well, it still is a human, but and that where the demon is not, and sometimes it takes a medium to know whether it's a human or non-human, if it's benevolent or malevolent, and that, and it's at that time then you can tell, okay, what you're dealing with, and that might be human, or what you're dealing with might not be human. Okay, but that's usually the work of either the medium or the paranormal investigation team with EVPs and videos and stuff like that. They can usually tell, if it's a demon or not, but they always get it confirmed from a professional, and that. And but like I said, I'm no demonologist by any means, and that. But I do know of one guy that he's part of White Rose investigation team on Facebook. Okay, his name is Tony. Okay, he's a professional demonologist. He knows everything about demonology, and that where I I don't want to go near one. Forget it. Spiritually, it's not only not safe. It's just, well, suicidal if you want to use that term, but no way. That I'm a child of light, not a child of dark. But so anyway, people, um, if you are being, if you're experiencing stuff like this, or being tormented by something that you can't see or don't understand, and that, contact myself or contact Tony, and that, and hopefully we'll give you some answers, and that, or research it yourself. That's what I've done for a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about today. I've had to research the lore, and that, and there was some information that was kind of tricky to find, and like I said, the word I'm using, like the different stages, I might be using the wrong words, and that, but the general idea is it starts out small and then it accelerates. That's basically what I'm getting at. So anyway, people, my next stream I hope will be a little bit more cheery than that, or a little more, I don't know, upbeat. But I really feel I had to do this, especially during these dark times, and that the people, because you're losing loved ones so much because of the pandemic, and that you want to reach out to them somehow. Okay, well, if you do want to reach out to your family or friends that died to COVID-19, and that if you do want to reach out to them into the spirit world, and that, please use common sense and please use caution. That if you try to connect with them without any protection or any controls in place, you never know what might come through, and it might not be pretty. See, you see, I understand that you want to have closure during these times. Hey, so do I. I lost a loved one back in June, and that, but sure, we want closure, and that, but you gotta do it the right way and the safe way. Okay. So anyway, thank you for listening to all my jibber jabber, and please stay safe, abide by the the Ministry of Health, their rules, and that, and that way at the end we're all safe, both physically and spiritually. Okay, so again, if you like this stream, and that, please hit the thumbs up, and that, and let me know what you liked, and if you learned something, please let me know that too, and that, and please don't forget to share, subscribe, hit the notification every time I go live. You'll get a notification. Okay, everyone. So thank you so very, very much for joining me, and please stay safe, and that, because I do enjoy learning from you as well as you. Learning from you as well as learning from me, and it's always a real privilege to teach and to learn. Because trust me, I'm still learning. And that, so anyway, people, thank you so much for your time. And oh yeah, by the way, if you do want a reading, a professional reading, okay, go to Derek Green, Psychic Medium, his Facebook group, and request a reading from him, okay, and contact one of the admins and tell them what you want to do, and that because he does both angel and tarot card readings. He also does personal readings, one-on-one. And then my friend Derek, okay, well, he's more of a brother, and that he's in the UK, and he charges £25 for a reading for as long as it takes. And I had a reading from him myself, and he is absolutely amazing. He covers so much. He's a lovely man. Anyway, the link to his group is in the description below, and so is the link to White Rose. It's in the description below as well. Okay, so anyway, thank you very, very much. Oh, and also, Anne Phillips Lancaster, she also does card readings as well for the group that I'm part of, SWYPT. Okay, because Derek is the head person, the boss of SWYPT. And I'm also a member of SWYPT as well. I'm one of their mediums. Okay, so anyway, I'll leave a link in the description below for the SWYPT group as well. Okay, so anyway, people, gotta go. So stay safe. Love and light to all. Thanks again. Bye bye.